content with whatever you have got. Only when you become content of whatever you have got in this world, and you start developing an attitude of appreciation, attitude of gratitude that God has given me so many things, right? Then you will be happy. Otherwise, you see, God has created everything for your need, nothing for your greed. The moment you are becoming greedy, then your unhappiness starts. Happiness in the long term, then follow Dharma. Krishna said, in the battlefield, you have come to help me in establishing Dharma. So detach yourself from these people. Don't look towards them as your Bhisma Pitamaha or Guruji or your Dronacharya as your Guru. Don't look towards them that. Or your Kul Guru Kripacharya. Don't look towards them. Look towards them as enemy. Suffering was a temporary phenomenon, let me tell you. There is temporary suffering.
Once again, welcome to our show. In last podcast, we have received so many comments. So I invite you and you accept in a very short span. I deeply show our gratitude to you, sir.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
And today's I want to know about happiness from the ancient book Mahabharata.
Right.
So I just want to know what does true happiness really means in today's world versus ancient time.
Right. It's a beautiful question. I'm thankful to you that you have asked this question to me. In the modern world, we think material things is going to give you happiness. But material things like car, like flats, like bank balance, like all these things will give you a temporary or momentary happiness. But it is not going to give you a permanent happiness, right? If you want really a perpetual happiness, you need to really thinking about Mahabharata times. How during Mahabharata, the happiness is being defined. And today, if you see in the World Happiness Index, Nordic countries, your Norway, Sweden, and Finland are continuously coming in the
Top.
in the top. Even Bhutan is also one of the countries. Great Britain is also one of the countries. If you see the 2-3 parameters in which these countries are continuously coming as the top 5 or top 10 countries of this world in terms of happiness is called content. Right? These people are content. And during Mahabharata time, Krishna gave lots of mantras to be happy through contentment. If you see, when he went as a brand ambassador, ambassador for Pandavas to Kauravas, and in the Rajya Sabha, Dhritarashtra was there. He requested for 5 villages. First, he asked for Indraprastha. When Duryodhana refused to give the Indraprastha, then he had a plan 2, right? And he asked for 5 villages. So in this process, he wanted to establish Dharma and happiness. Okay. And that's called contentment. They are content with these 5 villages. Number 1. So that's an important thing we need to learn from them, that the happiness doesn't come from the material things like bank balance, like car, like palatial house, but happiness comes from the contentment, number 1. Second, if you see, another thing which has come in terms of happiness is that Yudhishthira was a welfare-oriented king, or he was a CEO. His focus was welfare orientation. So most of the time, if you see his actions, they're all for the welfare of the people. And in the World Happiness Index also, one of the criteria for judging a country as a happy country or happy people is the welfare measures by the government. Okay. So in Nordic countries, government is very, very welfare oriented. And during Mahabharata also, Yudhishthira was a very, very welfare oriented. So that's an important thing which is there. And third thing which is there is the almost zero corruption. In this country, zero corruption. And that point of time also, there was a ethics which was prevailing, and there was a dharma which was prevailing in most of the places wherever dharma was not prevailing, Krishna had come to establish dharma. So in the process, if you ask me to conclude, the happiness during modern time, during Mahabharata time, was in content and it was in empathy. But in modern time, many people are chasing happiness by having a palatial house and bank balance and all this, but they are not really getting the true happiness.
So why Mahabharata is still relevant when we talk about happiness?
Why it is still relevant? Let me tell you, if you see from the Mahabharata, from the beginning to the end, there are many happiness mantras which has been given by many central characters, and there are many incidents which has happened which has given real happiness. One such example is Arjun was completely disturbed. He was unhappy when he was asked in the
War zone.
in the war zone, when the war was about to start, to fight with his own Bhisma Pitamaha. Then he was asked to fight with Dronacharya. Then he asked, "You are asking me to fight with Bhisma Pitamaha? I spent my entire childhood in his godi. You are asking me to fight with Dronacharya? He is my guru. He has taught me the archery skill, and you want me to use archery against him?" So he was completely disturbed. But the way Krishna did the coaching and mentoring of him, and in the process he convinced him, and finally he was a changed person. He was a transformed person. If you see the entire process of dialogue, which is written in Bhagavad Gita, that's a beautiful source of inspiration, learning, and happiness. So that's a beautiful thing which you need to learn from Mahabharata, and that is going to give you real happiness.
Is the happiness result of external success or internal alignment? Because nowadays many people are finding external success first, then happiness. So what exactly?
You see, external success will give you happiness momentarily.
Okay.
It will come and it will go. Once you, suppose getting a good car is a parameter for you to get happiness, you get a good car. But that happiness will continue for some months. Right? After that, the moment you see another big car and a sedan, then you will feel I am unhappy. So these are the things. Suppose you are staying in a 2-bedroom house and you could see you have got happiness out of this 2-bedroom house. The moment you see somebody staying in a 3-bedroom or 4-bedroom, then your unhappiness starts from there. So what I'm trying to say is that all the materialistic things will give you temporary happiness. It will not give you permanent happiness. The permanent happiness, if you see the alignment, you need to align towards the bigger cause, which Krishna was asking about to establish the Dharma. So that point of time, you need to refer to Mahabharata where it says you need to be content with whatever you have got. Only when you become content of whatever you have got in this world, and you start developing an attitude of appreciation, attitude of gratitude, that God has given me so many things, right? Then you will be happy. Otherwise, you see, God has created everything for your need, nothing for your greed. The moment you are becoming greedy, then your unhappiness starts.
Basically, just we are also saying, and many coaches are also saying same thing, you do a gratitude on a daily basis. So it's an cause of happiness.
Absolutely, I agree.
Okay. Now, go forward. How did the character of like Duryodhan show that unchecked desire lead to suffering?
You are correct. Duryodhana is a beautiful example of unhappiness, how unhappiness you are inviting. You see, Duryodhana, first of all, he was not content. He was ambitious, but you see, ambitious is not a bad thing, but over ambitious is bad, right? That's exactly what happened. And secondly, he was extremely greedy. So in the process, what happens? He was not getting happiness. He was always absolutely unhappy. He had got the Hastinapura, but he was unhappy. He says, I want the Indraprastha also. Then probably if you would have got Indraprastha easily, then you would have got, you would have aspired to get something more also. So many of us in the corporate world get lots of lessons out of it. That you be ambitious. I'm not saying being ambitious is bad, but over ambitious is very bad. In this process, what happens? You become very, very greedy. that I have got X amount of salary, CTC cost to the company every year. Then I should have this, get this much of, and sometimes people do unethical things to get that particular money. So that we need to understand, which Duryodhan did, and you know what has happened.
Yes.
Ultimately, it was a defeat for him. So if you become very, very greedy in terms of getting money, car, bungalow, house, then there is no end to it. And finally, it will be a defeat for you. So be content and don't be like Duryodhan and be like Pandavas, because they are in the side of Dharma and they got success.
As we also says that your karmas come back
Yes.
and hit you back.
Yes, yes. Karmas come back.
As we says ki never do a comparison. Can we ever be happy if we constantly compare ourselves to others? According to Mahabharata.
You are correct. You see, why and how Duryodhan invited all the trouble for him? Because he was over ambitious, and though he was not comparing as such, it has not been mentioned in Mahabharata, but he wanted to be the Digvijaya, means he should be the king of everything, whatever was there, right? So in the corporate world also, if you start comparing ourselves with other people, those who are colleagues to us or those who are batchmates to us, then there is no end to comparison, right? Today, if I see some of my batchmates, they have grown like anything. They are getting 10 times salary than what I am getting. But there are some colleagues also, they are getting 1/10 of whatever I am getting. So we need to understand that by comparing, you are really inviting trouble and you are inviting unhappiness, because you don't know what kind of journey these people have undergone to reach to that particular position. Probably have not undergone that particular journey of hardship.
So that was in nowadays happening in social media. Na?
Yes.
People show success, but no one want to see the backside, what the struggle phase of that person.
Yes, yes, yes. You are correct.
So, what was the does greed play a role in destroying your inner peace?
As I have mentioned, need, God has created everything for your need, nothing for your greed. The moment the greed comes, then it completely disturbs your entire processes, systems, and the state of mental happiness, right? So many people in the corporate world, just to be ambitious and to fulfill their greed, they try to join in the rat race. But there is a saying, in the rat race, even if you win, you still become a rat, right? So, so it's important that don't be a part of the rat race, be content and keep on doing good jobs and focus on your karma. When I was a young man of 28, 29, the karmanya vadhikarestu magphalesu kadachana was a philosophical term for me. But today, when I have lots of gray hair, I could see that is absolutely correct. Absolutely correct. If you just keep on doing good jobs, one day result will definitely come, which I could see many a times. I don't expect something, but because of my hard work, I get it. I get it. So that has happened in my personal life as well as in professional life.
As you in previous in podcast also, that contentment is important. Is the contentment is the key of happiness, or the ambitious matter too?
As I have mentioned, being ambitious is not bad, but over ambitious is going to spoil your system, processes. It may impact your health, it may impact your mental health, physical health, and sometimes you will not forget to do some unethical things, which many people in the organization, in the corporate world are doing. So I suggest the corporate people now, those who are listening to me, is that be content, but at the same time be ambitious and not over ambitious.
So, little bit of focus on over ambitious and ambitious. How you will segregate it both?
Okay,
If you can example.
right. I'll just give an example. Suppose I am from a mediocre engineering college or a mediocre management college. So, to be a CEO of a 1,000, 2,000 crore company is ambitious. This kind of ambition is absolutely correct.
Okay.
But if I have an ambition to be the CEO of Microsoft, right, or Google, then it may be too ambitious. Because I have never seen anyone in that particular position who has come from a very mediocre background and mediocre, education. So only when you have come from a beautiful pedigree, like maybe IITs and IIMs, and you have also beautiful success stories in the campus interview. Some of the big corporates of the world, they have picked up you in the campus interview. Then being ambitious to be the chairman of or CEO of Google or Microsoft is ambitious.
Okay.
That's the difference.
How does following Dharma contribute to happiness for a long term happiness?
If you want really happiness in the long term, then follow Dharma. Follow Dharma. I'll just give you one example. My son appeared for a medical entrance. And one of my friend, his son also appeared for an entrance, medical entrance. I'm not saying that my friend was having money which he doesn't deserve, but he was having a cheap money. He was earning easy money. You can say easy money. But I had a very hard-earned money, right? And my son got into a medical college where you need not to pay anything. That medical college will pay you.
Okay.
Whereas my friend's son entered into one medical college where he had to pay 1 crore. So whatever adharma money he had earned, that went there. And for all times to come, he will say, I have studied from that private medical college, right, where lots of capitation fee is to be paid. What I'm trying to communicate here is that if you follow Dharma, and your entire earning is through Dharma, right? And you are in the side of Dharma all the times, and your earning is also completely clean, then be sure that God is also there with you, and He will give you every happiness. Don't take it otherwise that studying in a private medical college is adharma. I'm not saying that. What I'm trying to say is that you will all the time get the blessings of God if you are in the side of Dharma and you are content and you are, the entire earning is through proper systems, processes and all this. Yeah.
We have seen Yudhishthir in the Mahabharata. What we can learn from Yudhishthir about calmness and balance? Because in every situation, Yudhishthir is showing his calmness.
Yeah, the best example of calmness to learn from Yudhishthira is when he encountered the Yaksha, right?
Yes.
And before to that, when he went there, all his 4 brothers were, they dead. They were dead.
Yeah.
And they did not listen to Yaksha, what are the questions he was asking. And they started threatening to Yaksha. Even Arjun said, अब आप कौन होते हो ये पानी के ऊपर, ये मेरा अधिकार है. पहले मैं पानी पीऊंगा और सिद्ध करूंगा कि ये पानी के ऊपर तुम्हारा कोई अधिकार नहीं है. देन इसके बाद मैं आपको दंड भी दूंगा क्योंकि आपने मेरा भाई का ऐसा हालत किए हो, right?
Yes.
And after that, Yudhishthira came, and he was highly emotionally intelligent, and he was absolutely calm and cool, and so he could listen all the questions of Yaksha one by one, and he could answer brilliantly, right? And some of the questions I will just read it out for you, which is very, very interesting. What is faster than mind? That is, what is faster than the wind? That is mind. The answer was mind. What is the greatest wonder of this world? Day after day, countless people die, yet the living desire to live forever. We all say we'll live forever.
Yes.
What is heavier than the earth? A mother. What is higher than the heavens? Father. What is more numerous than grass, straws? Worries, thoughts. What is the highest duty? Dharma. To injure none of the living. What is the invincible enemy? Anger. What is the greatest happiness? Contentment. Here also, he has given the answer. That contentment is the biggest happiness. Who is truly happy? One who is not in debt and can cook simple food at home. What I'm trying to communicate through this particular example is that we need to really learn the power of calmness, coolness, and emotional intelligence from Yudhishthira.
Is doing the right thing always a path of happiness, even when it's difficult?
Okay, in Bhagavad Gita, uh, Krishna has, while doing the mentoring and coaching of Arjuna, he has talked about Sama, Dama, Danda, Veda. He's saying that you need not to be always in the side of Dharma, right? So Sama is, taking care of people
Taking
and
care
all
of
this. But when there is a requirement to be Danda and Veda, that you need to also follow. Sometimes it is required in the corporate world and in the personal life and professional life also.
Okay.
So what I'm trying to communicate through this is that being in the side of Dharma is absolutely required. But in one incident, Yudhishthira had to tell a lie, which had two meaning. When Ashwathama
Ashwatthama has come.
incident that there is a Hathi whose name was Ashwathama also. And when Dronacharya asked whether Ashwathama has died, he said yes. But he communicated this with double meaning.
Yes.
Double meaning, right? But the message went to Dronacharya that his son is dead. And he then renounced his arms and ammunition and everything. What I'm trying to communicate is that being too simple and straightforward is not going to work all the time. Sometimes you need to be a little more intelligent. I'm not saying you should be cunning, but at least use your intellect in the right manner to give the right communication to the people that a spade is spade.
How do we define personal dharma in a modern life?
As I have mentioned earlier, you see in Bhagavad Gita, one more thing which Krishna has told to Arjuna is that there are 4 stages of your life. The stages are Brahmacharya, then Grihastha, then Banaprastha, then Sannyasa, right? You will get real happiness if you follow suppose you have 80 years of total life. Then your Brahmacharya starts from the day one you born in this world till 25, 30 years maximum. That's you understand what is good, what is bad, what is truth, what is untruth, what is the way of life, what is domain knowledge, expertise, all this you learn. Then comes your Grihastha. In the Grihastha you have, in the organization also, you have a team, you are grooming them for a robust talent pipeline, then you have a succession planning and you make them ready. Then the moment you are in the Banaprastha stage, the stage where you need to give it back to the society. So by 55, 60, that process starts. Whatever you have learned from the society or whatever you got from the society, you need to give it back to them. It's called, like CSR, it is called PSR, personal social responsibility.
Okay.
So you will be getting real happiness if you are really following this Banaprastha stage of your life. But if you are not going out of the Grihastha life, and you are at the age of 60, still you are in Grihastha. You are at 65, still in Grihastha. You are at 70, still you are in Grihastha. So in your entire life, the Banaprastha and Sannyasa will never come. Whereas God has very clearly mentioned in Bhagavad Gita that you will get real happiness if you are going to follow all the 4 stages. Right? So your Grihastha has to come to an end by the age of 50, 55, 60. Then immediately you should move to that next stage, Banaprastha. Otherwise, you are inviting trouble for you.
And Mahabharata, what does Krishna told about detachment and happiness?
Again, I'm going to repeat whatever I mentioned earlier. When Arjun said that you are asking me to fight with
Relative and
Dronacharya, you are asking me to fight with Krupacharya, you are asking me to fight with Bhisma Pitamaha. I've spent my entire childhood in his Godi. And Krupacharya, he's our Kulguru. And we are praying to him and we are touching his feet and we are getting all the advice from him. Then Dronacharya, he's my Guru. I get all the learning from him. Then Krishna said, in the battlefield, you have come to help me in establishing Dharma. So detach yourself from these people. Don't look towards them as your Bhisma Pitamaha or Guruji or your the Dronacharya as your Guru. Don't look towards them that. Or your Kul Guru Kripacharya. Don't look towards them. Look towards them as enemy. Look towards them as enemy. Then you can help me in establishing Dharma. And your Dharma here is to fight with them. So you start fighting. So here he has really mentioned about the concept of detachment. So in the organization also, wherever you are serving, we need to, at one point of time, detach ourselves from the organization. If you don't detach yourself, then you will be emotionally so attached to them. One day you will move out of the company. Either you will be getting another service somewhere, or you will superannuate, or there may be some bad times when you will be asked to go. So that point of time, it is going to give you lots of unhappiness. So the concept of detachment we need to follow the day we join in the organization. Attachment with detachment.
As you already mentioned, detachment with. But how emotional attachment lead to suffering? If someone emotionally attached, especially in feminism energy, it's seen too much. They attach anything, even in a materialistic item, they are attached so much. So, does emotional attachment lead suffering?
Emotional attachment is good, but too much of emotional attachment is bad. It happens in a personal life and professional life also. When a child is born at home and does her or his 12th, we know he or she is going to take admission in a medical college or engineering college, or he will move out of the
Move out of house,
home one
comfort
day.
zone.
So he should be mentally prepared for this. But many children, as well as mother and father, they are so attached that they are not able to detach themselves. So in the process, the suffering happens. Same thing happens when the education of the child is over. One day, this girl or boy, they will go to serve somewhere. It should be in India, it should be abroad, it should be USA or somewhere. So you need to be detached, right? And you know, one day your daughter will go to a different family. She will be married in a different family. So if you are mentally prepared for all this, detachment is not going to not going to give you trouble, or it will not going to disturb you. Same thing in the corporate world also. In the corporate world, if you are serving in the organization, one day either you leave the organization,
Or retire.
or the organization will ask you to go, or you will retire, or anything may happen for which you need to move out of the organization. So if you are mentally prepared for detachment from the organization, then it's not going to give you trouble. But emotionally, attachment is good, because in the process you really work for the organization and you get motivated to do good job in the organization.
Can you help? What are the practical ways to practice detachment in daily life?
Uh, First of all, you do a very good job in the organization, completely commit to the organization. So your entire commitment. In Bhagavad Gita, there is a mention about 4 yajnas. The first yajna is called Dravya Yajna, then Tapo Yajna, then Dhyana Yajna, then Jnana Yajna. Right? Tapo Yajna, the first one is Dravya Yajna. Dravya Yajna means you should spend a part of your income towards the betterment of the society, right? If somebody is very poor, you need to do a little donation to them, or the village in which you have studied in the school, do something for that particular village school. Then comes the tapajagya. Tapa means your body and mind should be so good that in the organization you take less holidays, less leave, and you are completely dedicated to the organization. So tapo and dhyana are coming here as dedication to the organization. Then at the end it says your jnana jagya. Jnana jagya is the most important thing among these 4 jagyas, right? And Jnana jagya says you should have a good domain knowledge, you should update yourself with whatever happening in this world. So in the process, what happens? You are absolutely employable, and the organization is going to also respect you for your domain knowledge, expertise, and leadership competencies, or the managerial skills which you have. So while following these 4 yajnas in the organization, be dedicated to the organization, but at the same time, keep your option open outside as well. If there is an opportunity which is coming outside, then you can move. Then only a fresh blood would come in the organization. So that is why many organizations want that 10% of their population, employees, should move out of the organization every year, so that fresh blood would be coming in the organization. Yeah.
As you told about contentment, but in Mahabharata, Pandavas or Krishna, they are more contentment. But then why did even the righteous character suffer in the Mahabharata?
Okay, you are correct that the righteous character has suffered, but that suffering was a temporary phenomena. Let me tell you, there is temporary suffering. I'll just give you an example. When somebody joining Indian Army, when the training happens, what happens in the morning, 4 o'clock, you need to get off,
Get off.
get ready. Then you have to run maybe for 10 kilometers. Then there would be maybe 15-20 kg of
weight.
material which is being loaded to you. Then you also walk in the hills. What is this? This is a temporary pressure they are undergoing during the training program. So they will come out with flying colors with much more stronger, right? So if you follow Dharma in the organization, temporarily there will be some suffering which is going to happen.
Okay.
Some suffering, right? And but in the long run, you are the winner. That's exactly happened with Pandavas. They had many sufferings. They had gone for 12 years of Banvas, then for 1 year they were in Ajnatavasa and whatnot. But finally, you know what has happened to them. They're the winner. Whereas the Kauravas, those who are following Adharma from the beginning to the end, even Karna, who was one of the most philanthropic person, he was also one of the biggest, who was the bravest person,
giver.
and your archery skill, there is only one person who was able to give takkar to him, that is Arjun, right? But because he was in the side of Dharma, and he used a very derogatory word against Draupadi, that is why he suffered a lot, right? He suffered a lot.
As you touch the topic of Karn, the question is all related to him. What can we learn from Karn? Teach us about inner strength and acceptance.
If you ask me, among the 12 characters, central characters of Mahabharata, Karna is my idol. Karna is the inspiration to me. Except 1 or 2 incidents in his life, whatever he did, that was a mistake. But Karna, you need to learn a lot from Karna. And the competency of perseverance, agility, and adaptability, you need to learn from Karna. If I tell from the Karna's life from the beginning to the end, you can understand what I'm trying to communicate is that when Karna was born, his mother Kunti washed him away in the river. And he was picked up by Adhiratha, who was a charioteer in the jungle he was staying. And he spent his childhood in the jungle. Just imagine, Karna's father was Suryadev. Mother was a Kshatriyani. But he spent the time in a jungle with Adhiratha. Then Karna wanted to learn archery skill. He went to Dronacharya. And Dronacharya said, get lost. Tell me, are you a Kshatriya? If you are not a Kshatriya, I'm not going to teach you. Get lost. Usko bhaga diya unhone. Right? But Karna did not give up. He went to Parsurama. And he had to tell a lie that I am a Brahmin. And he learned everything. Right? He learned everything, including the Divyastra. Right? But when Parsurama learned that he is not a Brahmin, then he cursed him. कि तुमको जो मिला है मेरे से जो तुम सीखे हो ना, वो तुमको जब सबसे ज़्यादा जरूरत पड़ेगा वो तुमको काम में नहीं आएगा. You know, that kind of cursing. But he did not give up. He did not give up. Then what happens? When after the training under Dronacharya was over by Pandavas and Kauravas, there is a show of strength. And in the show of strength, they were showing how Arjuna was showing the archery skill, and he was creating the rain. Then he could create fire through his archery skill. And then Karna, and he was about to be declared as the biggest archer of this world. Then Karna entered. And he said, without giving him opportunity, how can you declare him as the biggest archer of this world? Then he was asked by everybody, who are you? Who is your father? Who is your mother? What is your caste? You know, he had no answer. And the biggest trauma he has undergone when his mother Kunti was present there. And she also refused to recognize him that he is my son, give him the opportunity. Still, Karna did not give up. Just imagine how much tough time he has undergone. Then what happened? Karna, when he was emerging as one of the biggest archers, then Indradev, who was the father of Arjun, he had a heart attack. He had a heart attack. अरे मेरे बेटे को टक्कर देने वाला और कोई आ गया है. Then what he did? He came in disguise of a Brahmin, and he was doing in the morning after taking his bath, he prays to his father, sun god. That point of time, if you ask him anything, he will give. He will give. He will never say no. And then he gave in disguise as a Brahmin. Then he asked, I have come to ask you something. Now you ask me what you want. Now you want your kavach and kundal. And you know, kavach and kundal was a part of his body. It was lots of difficulty he could remove. But he did not give up. He did that. And there was a Swayamvar of Draupadi. And from different parts of the country, the kings had come to participate in the Swayamvar. And he was also king of Anga. Then he was given the responsibility to shoot the eye of the fish, looking towards the reflection of the fish. He did that. But Draupadi refused. Just imagine how much trauma he must have undergone. Then after that, what happened? When the war started, right? Duryodhan went with a folding hand to Dronacharya, to Bhishma Pitamaha. Please permit my friend to participate in the war. He said, he's a Abhadra. He has used a very derogatory word against my Putrabadhu Draupadi in the Rajya Sabha. So I will not permit him to participate in the war till I am the army chief. So he was not participating. So till Bhishma Pitamaha was there, he was confined to a war room. Just imagine, he was a big warrior, but he was not permitted to participate in the war. His trauma did not end here. After that, what happened? When he was fighting his last battle, as per the curse, the wheel of his chariot entered inside the mud. Then he requested to Arjun, Arjun, please permit me to take out my chariot. And as per the code of the war, you cannot kill me because I am unarmed. Then Arjun said, ye batao, when the Chakravyuha was there and my son Abhimanyu had entered, as per the code of the war, he was alone. Only one Adhirathi or Rathi should have fought with him, but all of you together have killed him. So you have broken the code of the war. So I will also break the code of the war and I will kill you. And he was killed. What I'm trying to communicate is that from the beginning to the end, he has undergone so many trauma, so many hardships, so many trouble. So the competency of adaptability, perseverance, agility, you need to learn from Karna.
If we go through Mahabharata, does it necessary to suffering is necessary for growth and deeper happiness?
I'll say yes. If today I'm honored that you have invited me to the studio to speak, if you see the journey which I have undergone, there are many sufferings I have. Many sufferings, right? I am from a very small village where I have studied in a village. Even I was not knowing any other language than my mother tongue Oriya till the age of 25 maybe, right? So you just imagine a small town boy coming to Delhi and struggling to establish himself in the corporate world. And then at the end, he's doing research on Mahabharata and traveling extensively throughout the country and addressing to IAS, IPS officers and the colonels and the brigadiers of the army. So the journey is not very smooth. So there is lots of suffering which has happened to me. And because of that suffering has made me much more stronger. And that's the reason why you have invited me to sit down with you and to address.
Definitely, sir. So, how can we stay mentally strong during difficult phase of the life?
It's a difficult question, but I'll try to answer.
Please, sir.
You see, change is constant, right? Change will continue.
Yes.
This is the only constant in this world. And when change is constant and everything is changing, so today, if you have some trouble, it is also not permanent.
Okay.
Today there is a trouble, tomorrow there is some happiness which will be coming. So this is a cycle of this world. It's a rule which nature has created. There will be ups and downs which is going to happen in everybody's life. Eh, People say that if there is continuous happiness, then there is something wrong, right? So only when there will be up and down, then you are like in ICU, in that
ECG
particular
machine.
ECG machine.
If up and down,
If
then we are live. Otherwise, if line is plain, you are
yes,
dead.
you are dead. So only when there is ups and down, zigzag which is happening, then you are alive. So today, if there is some suffering which is coming, that means we are alive, and that suffering is going to make us much more stronger. So let us be mentally prepared. If today I'm very happy, be mentally prepared that tomorrow this happiness may not continue. There will be some hardship which will be coming. So I have not seen a single person in this world who has got all the happiness in this world. He has also some challenges. The difference is that he has learned how to be happy and to smile despite all the challenges, which many people have not learned.
I also gone through one book, see, and there is an experiment which you are saying, na, if happiness has given. So the experiment is happen on rats. They given each and everything. Food is sufficient, space is sufficient. For a few days they are enjoying, and after that they become lazy, lethargic, and after certain time duration, the area has been divided, and the dominant rat start fighting. At the end was all the rats are die, even having a food.
Right.
If we are talking about Mahabharata, we have seen so many egoistic persons. So how does ego destroy happiness in relationship?
Absolutely brilliant question, let me tell you. And I've seen in corporate world also, like Duryodhan had lots of ego. People, those who are being ego in the corporate world, they have not lasted long, right? Rather, I have seen people, those who are cool, calm, and emotionally intelligent. They have a beautiful followers. People accept him. They have lots of acceptability also, and they really grow very very fast in their career. And people, those who are egoistic, they have vanished from the corporate world at a very very young age, right? Like uh, in Mahabharata, Duryodhana, he was a big warrior. I'll tell you, if there is only one person who was giving takkar to Bhim in terms of Gada Juddha, that was Duryodhan. So he was such a big warrior, and he had got the blessings from his mother that nothing can really hurt him except that thigh area,
Thigh area.
which
That was
was
the
covered.
Krishna's game.
Right. So he had these kind of blessings, and he was such a strong man. But finally, what happened? You have seen. He not only he died, all his 99 brothers also died. All the warriors, those who had come from different parts of the country to fight in favor of him, they also died. So what I'm trying to communicate is that he had lots of ego, and that ego really spoiled him. It has killed him. And he was arrogant, egoistic. In the corporate world, temporarily you may gain something that you will, through your ego and through your stubbornness, you can make somebody very, very low for temporarily. When you find there is a brilliant guy in the organization, but he doesn't know how to present before everybody, then in due course he emerges and people understand his real capability. And I've seen many people, those who have grown a lot in their career, they have really, they are not egoistic. They are very cool and calm. Their emotional intelligence is very, very good. And I'll just give you one example. When Bhisma Pitamaha went for Sarasajya, then there was a search for new army chief. And there are many warriors, those who are shortlisted, and they defined what are the competencies requirement of these army chiefs, and they could shortlist two big warriors to be the army chief. One is Karna, and second is Dronacharya. Karna, his candidature was thoroughly discussed among Duryodhana, Dusasana, Sakuni, and other people, but his candidature was absolutely rejected. His candidature was rejected. Do you know why? Because he was an egoistic guy. His acceptability was very, very low. That's the reason why he was not accepted, because nobody was liking him because of his ego and attitude which he was displaying. Right?
What we can learn from lesson when can we learn of forgiveness from Mahabharata?
Oh, it is a real eye-opener for me while doing research on management lessons from Mahabharata. Whoever has forgiven to somebody, they have become much more bigger. Suppose I have done a mistake and you have forgiven me. In the process, do you know what happens? You become much more better. And I become much less in terms of my positioning in the system, in the organization also. Uh, Yudhishthira was known for giving forgiveness, right? And one such incident was happened when they were in the Banavasa and they were in the jungle. Draupadi had gone to fetch some water, take some water. Jayadratha was going in that particular place, and he could see Draupadi. Then he kidnapped Draupadi, and he started misbehaving with Draupadi. And when Pandavas could find that she is not there in the jungle, then they started searching and they could catch Jayadratha. And then as a penalty, they said that you need to do seva of Yudhishthira for some time, and that's a penalty for you. Then Yudhishthira immediately forgave him. And he said, no, I will not give you punishment. First of all, you are related to us. You are our brother-in-law. We are our sister-in-law, number one. Second is that I am going to forgive you. And in the process, his stature went up. And he felt very, very insulted that he had the opportunity, Yudhishthira had the opportunity to penalize me, punish me, but he has forgiven me. So his stature, the respect for the Yudhishthira went off in our eyes.
Suppose if Krishna is alive today, what best advice would he give about happiness?
Whatever he mentioned in the Bhagavad Gita while coaching and mentoring Arjuna is about this contentment. Contentment is one thing which is very, very important. We learn from Karna from Krishna in terms of learning for all of us. And if we are not content and we have greed and we are too ambitious, I have got one flat in Delhi, now second flat I want in Noida, third flat I want in Gurgaon also, and fourth one I also should have, then there is no end to it. We need to draw a Lakshman Rekha. But this is what is required for me, right? That's a beautiful learning which you have to do up. The contentment is an important thing we need to learn from Krishna. Yeah.
What are the 3 practical habits from Mahabharata that anyone can apply in their life?
There are many, but I will tell you, there are 2, 3 which is highly relevant for all of us to understand. One is, in the organization, don't do micromanagement.
Okay.
Don't do micromanagement. And Arjun did a micromanagement, and as a result of which, he lost his son. That story, difficult to narrate. It's a little lengthy. When he was chasing Trigat brothers, then Bhima told that this is a strategy of our Gurudeva as a strategy to keep you away from the battlefield. And Krishna also advised him, you are like a CMD of a company, right? And this Trigat brother is just a peon. And in the morning, he has given a gali to you in the morning, and you have cancelled all your programs. That's exactly what Arjuna did. And in the process, he went out of the battlefield, and his son was killed in the Chakravyuha. Because Arjuna was knowing how to enter and to come back. Yes. And his son was not knowing how to come back.
Exit is not.
Right? So, that's the first thing we need to learn. Don't do micromanagement in the organization. Right? Then, the second thing we need to learn is that from Mahabharata is keep somebody in your team who is going to criticize you.
Okay.
If all the team members are going to say, wow, you are one great man, then there's something wrong in the system. Because nobody is absolutely perfect. So, it is called, in one of the lessons which I prepared from Mahabharata, it's called bitter truth HOD. Means, one of your HOD should tell bitter truth to you.
Like Vidur.
We need to learn. And Vidur had time and again has told to Dhritarashtra that the mistake which you are doing, history will never forgive you. History will never forgive you because you have done everything for the betterment of your children. Whereas your focus should be betterment of the kingdom.
Hmm.
Right? So in the process, history will never forgive you. Then he is asking, will you forgive me? Now he said, I am not going to forgive you. Then he said, you yourself will not forgive yourself. Right?
Okay.
So in the process, there should be somebody who should tell, sir, I could understand that out of 10 decisions which you have taken, 9 are perfect. But one decision I couldn't understand. Can you please explain? So don't be surrounded with yes men in the organization. Right?
Okay.
There should be somebody in the team who should challenge you, who should catch hold of you and ask you, sir, why you have taken this decision. These are two important things I wanted to share. And then third one is the sharpening the saw.
Sharpens the saw. Okay.
Sharpening the saw. Until unless you sharpen your saw, then you cannot be relevant in this world. And which Dronacharya has told to Jayadratha. Jayadratha. When Jayadratha came and he said, हम दोनों तो आपके स्टूडेंट हैं, but how Arjuna is become the one of the biggest archer and I am not. He said, both of you have done your BTech under me in aerosciences, right? But what he did lots of practices. He started using archery skill at night also, right? But whatever, you were complacent after doing your BTech, and that's why you are not ahead of him. Those three are important things which I've learned from Mahabharata. One is don't micromanage, don't do micromanagement, sharpen your saw.
And contentment.
And contentment, and keep somebody, don't be surrounded by yes men in the organization who are going to do a lip service.
Okay.
Keep somebody who is going to challenge you.
Is happiness a destination or a way of living?
It's a way of living.
Okay.
From morning to evening, you need to develop an attitude of gratitude. What God has given me. There are so many people in this world who do not have the basic necessity of life. I'll just give you how I get happiness. दिल्ली में ऐसा कोई DTC बस स्टॉप नहीं है जहाँ से मैं DTC नहीं पकड़ा हूँ. उसी DTC बस स्टॉप के सामने मैं जब मेरा सेडान में चलता हूँ, मैं उसको देखता हूँ, यहाँ पे भी मैं बस पकड़ा था. So there's a happiness which I'm getting out of it. So attitude of gratitude. भगवान मेरे को आपने इतने आशीर्वाद दिए हो कि I'm driving a sedan in front of that same DTC bus stop.
Okay. Any final message to the audience? What is the ultimate secret of happiness according to Mahabharata?
To the audience, my communication, my advice to all of you is that be ambitious, but don't be over ambitious, because if you don't get it, then you will be very unhappy. Number one. Second is that be content whatever you have got, but at the same time you should also aspire to get something. But when you are overstretching yourself, then you are mentally and physically you are going to be drained, and whatever you will be achieving in your life, that will be also you cannot really enjoy if you are mentally and physically completely drained. So this is the second thing. And third is that never do micromanagement. If you are doing micromanagement at home, then you are really making your children inefficient. Empower them as much as possible and let them take off responsibility from you. In the process, they will be much more stronger. And same thing with the organization. If you want a good, strong talent pipeline to be developed, who are going to be the successor, and you are doing a good succession planning, please don't do micromanagement. Empower them and give them responsibilities so that they will be much more stronger in their life.
Thank you, sir, for your valuable insights. I think I will invite you few more
Thank you very much.
more talks, because you have a lot of insights from Mahabharata.
Thank you.
Few of moments I got a goosebump.
Thank you.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you very much for your invitation. I'm really delighted and honored with your invitation. Thank you.
Thank you.